Good morning and welcome to the 2014 Senior Trials 2. This morning we have 4 events: men's single, which is on the line right now, men's double, men's pair, and women's lightweight double. Crews are getting ready right now. We're getting close to the 2-minute warning. In lane 1, which is to the far left, is Tom Pezic. Lane 2 is Ryan Sheldon. Lane 3 is Johan Rigon. And lane 4 is Hugh McAdam. We're going to go up to the start now and listen for the call of the start of the men's single.
Did you check the plugs on the side of the box?
I just checked the plugs for you for doing another test. I tightened one up.
Okay.
Lane 6.
2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Looking at Hugh McAdam.
Gentlemen, we're going to test the equipment at the start. This is not the start of your race. Please sit easy while we test.
Testing the start lines.
At the start, the rowers will hear attention, and then there is a red light, which will then turn to green, and with the green light is a tone, and that is the start of the race. There's a set of lights and a speaker at each lane, so each rower can hear and see the same thing at the exact time. And that's the way it's done at the World Championships, and so this helps the athletes get used to what they're going to hear at the World Championships.
Lane 4.
Gentlemen, I apologize for the delay. We're having some technical problems with the equipment here. We'll be starting your race with a megaphone and a red flag. Please bear with us while we make an adjustment up here.
Lane 5 and 6.
Hugh McAdam in the yellow boat, and Johan Rigon in the darker boat, closest to us. on the race course, they're actually using lanes 3, 4, 5, and 6. On the schedule, it's listed as 1, 2, 3, 4, so everybody got shifted over a little bit. So if you hear the two different numbers, that's the confusion.
Start will be with flag and megaphone.
Apparently having a little problem with the starting system.
Lane 3.
Looking at Tom Pezic. Tom Pezic is a bronze medalist from the men's London 8. I'm sorry, 2013 men's bronze 8, and a London Olympian from Farmington Hills, Michigan. Rose out of the U.S. Rowing Training Center here in Princeton. He finished second in the semifinal behind Johan Rigon, and is on the outside lane. Panning over to Johan.
Mr. Pezic, Mr. Shelton, Mr. Rigoni, Mr. McAdam.
Sorry, that's Ryan Shelton. Ryan Shelton we're looking at now.
Go.
The men's single underway. The two early leaders are Johan Rigon on the far side in the dark boat, with Ryan Shelton rowing for California Rowing Club. He's from Wrightwood, California, in second. Johan moving out to a very fast early lead. He's got a boat length on the field, and we're about 250 meters into the race. Trailing by open water in the white top is Ryan Shelton. On the outside is Hugh McAdams, who's moving up a bit on Mr. Shelton. And trailing in third is Tom Pezic. And he, as you can see, is about a boat length down on Ryan Shelton and Hugh McAdam, who are running close to even, but with more than a boat water of open space between himself and the rest of the crowd is Johan Rigon. So get a close-up shot. Interesting style of bend of the arms right at the catch. But obviously it's working for him. Hugh McAdams moving up, possibly in second place, a little hard to tell from this angle. And Mr. Pezik trailing about a boat length behind second and third place. So everybody is through the 1,000. Mr. McAdams looks like he's moved up into second place, but 2 boats of open water behind our leader, Johan Rigon, who is, don't want to jinx, but is cruising to what appears to be an easy victory here in the men's single. Looking very comfortable out in front. This is a battle for second place. There are no medals for second place. This is a trials event. But a bit of pride is on the line, I am sure. Hugh McAdam on the outside, rows for Craftsbury. Ryan Shelton in the white for California Rowing Club. And Tom Pezik for the U.S. Rowing Training Center in Princeton. And here is Johan Rigon out in front, looking to see where the finish line is. See, Tom Pezik on the outside is made up about a boat length, in second or third place right now. But Johan Rigon is going to win by about a boat length of open water as they come to the line. And it is Johan Rigon, followed by Mr. Shelton, Mr. McAdam, and on the outside, Tom Pezik. And we are going back up to the start for the men's double, which is already underway. men's double, lane 1, Princeton Training Center, lane 2, California, lane 3, Potomac, lane 4, California Boat Club. Because of the start of the late start of the last race, we'll pick this race up at between the 750 and the 1,000 meter mark, so they are well into the race. Some very impressive athletes in this men's double. That's Sam Stitt, who's 7-time national team member, 2008 Olympian. Derek Johnson, Hans Strusa, who were in the quad at the last year's World Championship. So this is going to be a pretty exciting race. And we'll tell you what's going on when the perspective comes a little bit better. So again, closest to the camera boat is the Princeton Training Center boat. Lane 2 is California A. In the red tops, just to the left, here we go, picking them up at the camera boat. Again, closest to us in the blue tops and yellow boat is the Training Center boat. California A in the white tops and white boat next to them. And the camera will pan up, and the red tops is Potomac. And then on the far side is California B. So right now at 1,000 meters, it is the Training Center with Alex Kowalski and Ian Silvera. And Potomac on the far side in the red tops is Sam Stitt and William Cowles. This looks like it's going to be a good race. Trailing is the Princeton Training, is California A and California B. Looking over there, Sam Stitt in the bow. William Cowles in the stroke seat. Trailing back to the California Training Center boats, or California Boat Club boats. That's Hans Strusna and Derek Johnson, and Ryan Monahan and Paul Marcy. Back to our leaders, close to the 500 to go mark. This is a really tight battle between these two boats. The Training Center closest to us and Potomac on the outside in the white boat. Right now, they are going almost stroke for stroke. The slightest edge, you'd have to give it to Potomac. As we go to the finish line camera, the angles are a little difficult here, but on the far left is Potomac, and on the far right is the Training Center boat. Hard to tell from this angle what's going on, but you can bet that those two boats, the Potomac boat in the red top on the left and the Training Center boat in the blue tops and yellow boat on the right, are still neck and neck. If anything at this point, I'd give it to Potomac, but it is really hard to say. This is a really close race. On the outside, the Training Center, they're putting it down, they're putting it down. See if Potomac has a response. Oh, the Training Center now moving out with half, 3/4. They are going to take the Training Center boat with Alex Kowalski and Ian Silvera are the winners, with Potomac second. California A was third, and California B is fourth. We're going to go back up to the start of the men's pair, which should be starting in just a moment.
Equipment will be starting your race this morning with the megaphone and a red flag.
Lane 5 on camera.
USTC Princeton F. USTC Princeton A.
Polling crews.
Attention. Go.
So we are underway with the men's pairs. It's two U.S. Training Center Princeton boats. Lane 1, which will be closest to the camera launch when it gets into position, is David Icke and Ross James. In the other Training Center boat is Glenn Ohal and Charles Cole. A two-boat race. These people train together all the time. Probably have a good sense of what's going to, not how this race will end, but how each other races. When they get up closer to the camera launch, we'll have a better idea of what's going on. So closest to us is David Icke and Ross James. In the safety green caps is Glenn Ohal and Charles Cole. Perspective is still a little bit off. These two boats are pretty close, but right now have to give it to the boat on the outside, which is Ohal and Cole. There's a lot of experience in these two pairs. Cole and Ohal, who we're looking at now, were Olympic bronze medalists in the 4 in London. And Ross James and David Icke in the pair bow number 2 that you see there James finished 4th in the 8 in London and won the bronze in the 8 in the 2013 World Championships. So a lot of experience between these two pairs, and they are still very close together, 3/4 of a boat length. This is James and Ike. As we go through the 1,000-meter mark, it appears that Cole and Ohal have a little bit of open water, just the slightest bit of open water over Ike and James. Opening up that lead just a little bit more, as you could see when the camera panned back, it's Ohal and Cole out in front. Ike and James trailing by a little bit of open water now. With about 600 meters to go, that could be a tall order to get back into contention in this race, as it seems that the open water margin is opening up a little bit more as we get close to the 500-meter mark. 500 to go. Two-boat race. Margins have tightened up a little bit as we get into the last 250 meters. The perspective from the finish tower is a little off, so the boat closest to us is the Ohal and Cole boat, and they are still leading, but it's by less than at the 1,500-meter mark. Ike and James have certainly come back into them, putting some serious pressure on, but it looks like Ohal and Cole are going to maintain at least a half a boat length lead as they come to the finish line. It is Ohal and Cole for the men's pair, Ike and James finishing second. Back up to the start for the women's lightweight double. We're a couple minutes away from the start. On the left of your screen is Kristen Hedstrom and Nancy Miles. And on the right is Devry Kars and Michelle Sescher. Ms. Hedstrom from Concord, Mass. Finished 11th in this event in London and took a silver at the 2013 World Rowing Championships. And Ms. Miles from Bainbridge Island, Washington, rowed in the lightweight women's quad that took a silver medal at the 2013 World Rowing Championships. Michelle Sesher and Devry Kars, Michelle from Folsom, California, and Devry from Park City, Utah. They train in Oklahoma City at the training center there. And they won this event earlier this spring at the National Selection Regatta. Sesher finished 7th in the lightweight single sculls at last year's World Championships. And they will be starting in just a moment, and we'll pick them up when they go.
Attention. Go.
Closest to us is Hedstrom and Miles on the and that they're in the white boat, white and blue top right there on the right hand side of the screen. On the left hand side is Kars and Sesher. As they get closer to the camera boat, which is sitting between the 250 and 500 meter mark, we'll be able to see margins. I believe that was the 500 meter mark. And it looks like Kars and Sesher are out in front. The women's lightweight double with not quite a boat length over Hedstrom and Miles. Two-boat race, last race of the morning. These athletes will be the last athletes named to the 2014 World Championship team. That event is being held in Amsterdam, August 24th through the 31st. If you haven't booked flight or tickets and still want to attend the event, the World Championships, Lotus Tours is the official tour company of U.S. Rowing, and they can hook you up. Go to usrowing.org to find information about Lotus Tours and give them a call. Devry Cars and Michelle Sesher out in front. Looking over to see where the 1,000-meter mark is. It's coming up. A boat length back is Hedstrom and Miles. Through the 1,000-meter mark, it's Cars and Sesher with a boat length over Hedstrom and Miles, the women's lightweight double. Check that, a little bit of open water now separates these two crews. You watch the buoy lines, that's the best indicator, so it's maybe a deck length between of open water between these two crews. Cars and Sesher watching their competitors behind them, which is a very nice place to be. You can see if they make any moves very easily and counter them. Rowing behind is difficult, especially when it's a two-boat race. You don't have anybody to work off of. Cars and Sesher are looking very solid as they have about 600 meters to go. And they have opened up a little bit more open water over Hedstrom and Miles. Through the 500-meter mark, Cars and Sesher are opening up a little more water on Hedstrom and Miles. Not able to completely walk away from them, but they are slowly gaining more advantage as they work their way down the course. When the buoys go from yellow to red, it's 250 meters to go. In the last event of the morning, the women's lightweight double. You see the starting sprinting in the red buoys. Oh, okay. We heard a horn, but these athletes are smart enough to know that that's not for them. All right, and going to our finish line camera. And it is going to be Cars and Sesher across the line first, and Hedstrom and Miles second. And those are the last boats named to the 2014 World Championship team, Amsterdam. August 24th through 31st. That'll be broadcast live on worldrowing.com. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.